We've looked at $400 sweatshirts and $10 sweatshirts, $1,000 jeans and $12 jeans, $200 t-shirts, $1 t-shirt. But big question of this video, out of all of those that we've gone over so far, what's the highest quality for the lowest price? What's the best value that we got? That's what we're trying to find out today. Hello everyone, it's Michael from the Iron Snail. Hope you're doing well. Hope this babbling brook isn't chatting too much. Usually like 100% of the time, there's a substantial difference in quality between a $5 t-shirt and a $32 t-shirt. And then from 32 to 100, sometimes it's the same, sometimes there is a big difference. But the main thing we need to focus on today is as you go up in price, there are certain tangible things that you unlock that add a ton of value, durability, everything to your garments. Oh, ooh, dead turtle. That's very sad. Very sad. Today we're trying to find the golden gooses. I knew when I said that was wrong. The word is obviously golden geese. What do you unlock at a certain price that makes this the best dang value that you could possibly get? This is a baby denim segment. We're gonna do a full video on the best value denim in the world, but I've also made like 8,000 videos on denim. Usually value, if you're talking pure value, non-selvage denim is just, it's way faster to make, it's way bigger of a roll, so it's cheaper and you can get similar or even better quality for a much lower price. So today we're just sticking with the legends, Wrangler and Levi's. Wrangler takes a cake from me just because they came in historically as the industry disruptors. They came in way after Levi's, so that brand was able to take a pair of jeans, a denim jacket, and be like, okay, if we were gonna make these legends better, what would we do? And they thought, we'll change the twill type, we'll use a broken twill so that way the denim doesn't twist and turn. We'll beef up the weight so it's a little bit tougher, and then we'll add on these rivets, or if you look at their jackets, their old ones have gussets in the back that are elasticated. They're just really inventive. So when you look at their rigid cowboy cut jeans in particular, that's still there. It's really, they looked at Levi's and said, we'd make them better this way. And they're cheaper at the same time. So that's why they win the #1 spot for value. And better obviously can always be subjective, because personally I like the dark blue on Levi's, the dark blue indigo, far better than the shade that Wrangler uses, but I like my butt in Wrangler pants better than Levi's. Levi's greatest strength is obviously that they're Levi's, so there's a billion different styles. You can go up the ladder really easily. You can go super cheap Levi's that you can find at Walmart or Target, go all the way up to made in Japan, Levi's recreation from 1947 jeans, which is insane. That's very cool, that's very fun. Specifically though, I always like, obviously, the shrink to fit 501, just because it's shrink to fit, it's unsanforized denim, so you put it in the bathtub, it'll shrink. Not to fit, you should usually go 2 sizes up, but that's still a really good choice. It's iconic, you get the dark indigo, so I like that there too. But honestly, I'd probably go Levi's Premium or something like that. Selvage you can get for like $100 from Levi's, which is pretty good stuff. And you get kind of the iconic, the red tab, the arcuates in the back, so that's why Levi's is on the list. Chinos, I am real big on chinos right now, absolutely loving anything chino related. These are the Uniqlo chinos. I like these, I just like them because they're brown, not because of anything else. Well, there are some good things about them. Putting my foot in my mouth here. First off, this is their regular fit. I'd consider this a pretty wide fit. They also have a wide fit, but they don't have a regular fit that's not super wide. But either way, this is their regular fit chino. I feel like it's decently heavyweight. It feels nice. The colors are great. No complaints there. I washed everything once. Slight fading already. That makes sense. The dye, when we did some tests on the yarn later, it's not very dyed through, so I feel like these will fade quite a bit as you wear them. You might like that, you might not, but it's apparent like immediately. And then we have Muji. After seeing the 2 pairs of pants side by side, reading about Muji, reading about Uniqlo, it seems like Muji cares more about what goes into their clothing and how it gets into their clothing. I can't say for sure, but it seems like that. And they care about the end consumer in a different way than Uniqlo. 2 different philosophies about making a pair of pants. Uniqlo, I don't know where they source their cotton, probably from a giant, combination of cotton from around the world that's all kind of mashed up together. Some of it may be unethically sourced, some of it may not be. Uniqlo's like, I don't know, and that's kind of how they get that price. Muji, on the other hand, seems like they're like, it's organic cotton, it's still a collection, but we at least know it's from these farmers, or it's recycled, or it's from this, or it's from that. The result of that, simply though, I believe, is that Uniqlo can just get cotton cheaper, so they can add more to their pants for the same price price as Muji, who has to make then a thinner pant with more kind of caveats. Like Muji on their site and on their labels are like, be careful of pilling, this garment might not be super strong. They say that with their t-shirts and sweatshirts, not on the pants, but they're just kind of warning you ahead of time, take care of your garment. When Uniqlo, on the other hand, just kind of throws it at you and is like, there you go, should be fine. So you do get a trade-off. You gotta dig deep inside and say, which pair do I want if I only want to spend 50 bucks? And honestly, the answer is probably just go on eBay, but we'll get to that in a second. Mac, enhance image by 600%.
No, Michael. Why don't you try cleaning me first?
I already keep you clean. Enhance image.
No, you don't. You used to, but your care fell by the wayside as soon as you got a little busy.
Okay, I'm listening. What do you need?
Well, I have a lot of applications that you don't use. There's thousands of duplicate photos of you wearing denim jackets. You're running out of storage space, and your printing app auto starts when you log on, which is...
Okay. I will start the very long process of decluttering you, MacBook.
No, Michael, stop. Just download Clean My Mac and run Smart Care. It'll do everything for you in one easy step.
Clean My Mac, download, install.
And another cool thing, you can look at the Clean My Mac assistant to get a bird's eye view of your Mac. Me.
I would love to see a computer through a bird's eyes.
I think they'd want to look at pictures of ticks and seeds.
That is very true, depending on the species.
You can try Clean My Mac free for 7 days and get 20% off if you use the link in my description. Thank you, Clean My Mac. Goodbye.
J. Crew. I believe the name is made up. It was just supposed to compete with a Mr. R. Lauren, but still, this is, like, there's no... Sometimes there's a log with just an improperly placed spike. That means you can't sit on it. This part of the video, I felt a sense of glee when I checked on these pants to see if they were doing what I thought they did. Because J. Crew could very easily make these pants in the exact same way as Uniqlo. And I feel like, for the most part, most people wouldn't notice. I probably wouldn't notice if I was wearing them day to day, but they did it anyways, and it makes a nicer pair of pants for $100. That's a great feeling. The main difference here is plies. Muji and Uniqlo use a 1-ply yarn, so when I untwist it, it fuzzes out just to be fuzz. It's just the cotton. That's it. J. Crew, on the other hand, J. Crew is out here using 2 plies. The main thing there, durability. You're getting 2 yarns in place of 1, but also at the same time, that does cost more because you have 2 yarns in place of 1, and typically, to get the same weight, you need a finer yarn, which is harder to spin. It's more expensive to spin, so you're paying more for the twist, and you're also paying more for the fact that you need a thinner yarn. But you get a ton of benefits with it. So J. Crew really deserves that $100. I mean, could they make it $85, $65? Probably, but you are getting a noticeable difference where if you're looking for quality or higher quality than Uniqlo, yeah, it makes total sense to get J. Crew. I love that. You can always usually get a pretty good price on J. Crew pants, but also J. Crew is a really big brand. Ralph Lauren's a really big brand. They're probably doing a similar ply or similar weight fabric. You can get them on eBay for 20 or 30 bucks. Just find the fit that you like. Boom, there you go. That's the true value here, but you can also go up one and get Ask It. Sucks that it's an overcast day. I really would like for you to see the difference here, but well, we'll try our best. Sorry, it's kind of tough to see. There is a luster to this fabric that is not here on J. Crew. It's definitely not there on Muji and Uniqlo. Oh, here we go. Look at how the fabric reacts to the light when I move my leg. And then with this fabric, can you see if I try to bend it a little bit, the shining, just a little bit? If you use a... Look at me just holding that dumb log. Here I was poorly trying to explain that this pant is using a really nice cotton, which really helps it give it that shine. But what I was trying to emphasize is that the pants were comfortable because of this cotton, even in the 90 degree, 80, whatever degree heat wave we just had. Because of those characteristics, they were silky, they didn't stick to you, they draped better. Point being, what I'm trying to say after all of this is that if you use good materials, you don't have to compromise on how you spin the yarn or how you weave the fabric, and you have the premium little shine instead of looking super matte. Also, this is just such a beautiful shade of wood that I'm taking it home and I'm gonna put it on my desk. We already did part 1 of the internet's favorite sweatshirts. I feel like this might be on the list next time. I don't know how popular the brand is, but we reviewed the Abercrombie something sweatshirt. It's like this vintage style sweatshirt that looks similar to this online, but when you get it, it doesn't feel like it. I think This is what you would want if you wanted that vintage style sweatshirt. There's night and day between this and Abercrombie, and this actually might be cheaper than Abercrombie. I think this is like 50 bucks, but really, really impressive. It has a nice rough, dry feel. Not anything unbelievable quality-wise, but it does feel nice. Muji and the $64 sweatshirt. This is Muji's Labo brand, which I think is their fancy dancy brand, because they have a loop wheel t-shirt too that's also cheaper than you'd expect. Loop wheel sweatshirts, when you see them, typically you should expect at least $150 US or more. I got this on sale, but it retails for $80 not on sale. I paid $64. And truth be told, I got exactly what I thought, which is you definitely found ways to cut costs. This knit is really the complete opposite of what we just looked at with waxed. This is a very, very insanely loose knit. This is a thicker yarn, but the knit itself, it's not the easiest thing to show, but see how it's kind of hanging on my body? Like it almost looks like when I'm holding it like this, it's wet or something like that, like it's falling under its own weight, versus something with a much tighter knit that doesn't really droop and sag and feel like it's wet and stretching, still kind of holds its shape. I would honestly rather get the whacked one or something with just a tighter knit in general, because I don't like that it's gonna stretch out of shape relatively quickly. So while it's cool and fashiony, might not be the best value. And then we have two legends, Camber in the US and House of Blanks in Canada. Both fantastic. You can't go wrong with either. They're really close. I think Camber is $98. House of Blanks is $100 for what we're looking at today. Both banging. Lately, I got a quarter zip from House of Blanks. Whew, I've been loving the quarter zip look. I just feel like I look so put together when I put that on. I have one from Buck Mason now that I wear a lot. But the House of Blanks one, it's everything it needs to be and nothing more. That's what I like about it. And then we have Camber, which is much, much beefier. Similar hand, a little spongier, so I don't think it's as densely knit, but it's very, very heavy. It feels like an old school 90s sweatshirt. I love it. You really can't go wrong with Camber, except the fit is a little odd. The arms on Camber sweatshirts are massive, like actual pools of fabric. The cut is it's kind of high, but you have a really long ribbing, and then, am I selling it to you yet? The neck hole is incredibly tight, so you have to like pull your head in, and then when you put the hood up, or even if you just have the hood, it kind of naturally sits up because the hood is very small and the neck hole is so tight. So it's definitely a peculiar fit, and I think the hood design hasn't been changed in probably 40 years. Still, great deal, cool company, and a great feeling product at the end of the day. It feels handmade. T-shirts is where I really actually started to panic with this video. I was like, is it possible to make a greatest value video? Because there's just thousands and thousands of brands out there. So I decided, yes, of course this video is possible, but I just want to say that this has to be a part one because there's so many brands. So let me know what you like for t-shirts. We're going to blast through about 30 very, very quickly because we're going to lump them together. These very, very low price t-shirts from these massive brands that just pump out pure numbers, they get that price low because Hanes and Guild and stuff like that, they're very vertically integrated. And then at the same time, they just absolutely rush through everything. So out of the 5 shirts I have from these brands, all of them had a defect on them. If it was knitting or stitching or something like that, it just comes and goes. But it's $3, it's $4, it's $2.50. It's a crazy low price. I was also really excited to get a Comfort Colors t-shirt in the mail because I feel like that's everybody's first fashion awakening is one day you say, you know what, I really like this shirt that just says Maine on it. It just feels like it's really good quality. What brand? Comfort Colors. It's always Comfort Colors. That being said, even though the collar is sewn down a little bit, so the seam allowance is sewn down, they did not come out that good. You could see everything. You can see my necklace through the shirt. This shot is X-rated. It just wasn't what I was used to seeing for Comfort Colors. I even wear a few Comfort Colors t-shirts when I'm working out. Those feel a lot better. So that being said, both the collars got messed up, but maybe I got the wrong one, but I would have to give ultra low price award to Gildan, probably, but at the same time, it's really cheap, you know. I was wearing the shirt when I went out to get tea with Taylor, and the tea, which was not a fancy tea, cost more than the shirt that I was wearing, and I was like, you know what, that probably isn't good. It's something is not doing well because of this shirt's production. Uniqlo just has to absolutely be ripping these shirts out like nobody's business because everybody's recommending them. Because for $15, they're very, very good. You get a bound neck collar so it doesn't wiggle a lot. You could end the video here. The price to quality ratio there, insane. This is the black one that you're seeing. I wear it all the time. It's great. Muji shirt is about $10 more expensive. It does feel justified to be $10 more though. That shirt does feel better. The collar's a little thicker, a little tighter. The shirt in general has a nice feel, a little bit of a shine to it. And that is organic cotton collected from factory floors. The lightest fibers sometimes float out of machines as they're being spun and as they're being knitted, and now brands are collecting them and making them into clothing. So Muji's also good. LA Apparel, Los Angeles Apparel, owned by the guy that used to own American Apparel, then he got booted from the company. Very asterisk, definitely read up on the American Apparel controversy and the LA Apparel controversy to, you know, decide what you think and stuff like that. The shirts are pretty good. They're made in the US. The workers are paid fairly, so all that stuff is cool. A good friend of mine uses their t-shirts as blanks, so I've worn them for many, many years. They hold up pretty well. They got kind of famous for the high collar on their neck, which looks great, but it does distort kind of easily, so I always look for the one with the bound neck. Heavy t-shirt, very rough, definitely open end, not carded, not the fanciest thing in the world. Uniqlo, I think, really beats it on total value in general, but still good, very, very heavyweight shirt. Oh, and it fits, it's very large. It fits me a bit like a tent. And then we have our good old friend Bronson, always one of the ranking champions of who makes the best t-shirt. Ask It was there, that's why I got some stuff for this video. Front General Store, still really good t-shirt, made in Japan for like 38 bucks. Bronson, nice t-shirt, $29. They say it's loop wheel, have to say it every time you mention it. It's actually not loop wheel, it's just regularly knitted. But for $29, it's a very, very good shirt. That being said, I tried out a shirt from Brave Star Selvage, $32. Possibly an even better shirt, but it is $3 more. So the choice is yours. Those, Brave Star and Bronson, probably neck and neck for this video on which one is the greatest value that's slightly above Uniqlo. Oops, I just remembered the loop wheel tubular t-shirt that Bronson sells, like the standard one. That one I would probably give the win to versus Brave Star. I'm wearing the slub loop wheel one, so a little different, but still, all three good. Also, another thing, I want to put the LA Apparel t-shirt higher at the end rank, because if you size down one, I think that might win. So that's also really good. Anyways, thank you very much. I will see you hopefully next week. I feel I was having a little tough time for a while, so sorry that the videos were slow, but I'm feeling much better lately. So I think I can make the videos fast, which would be good.